What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I am feeling very good about myself. It is April 3rd, and I'm coming off a winning night in every single sport, and I needed it. Coming off a bad month, started with back-to-back winning days in April, and that's the kind of start that I need very badly, especially before Friday, because that's payday in my situation. So it feels very good. Feels very good. It could have been actually a spectacular day, but it was still a very good day. Shout out to all the guys, man, especially Maxwell Smart came on the show just dropping fire yesterday on the late show. He went 6-2. I ended up going 4-2, but 4-0 on my unders. And it wasn't, the one loss was TCU, and he said Texas, and I had already locked in TCU. And he was, everything he said about, God, he was really on one. Also went 2-0 in NBA unders, working with Ski Profit. It was just a very good day, winning in hockey. Just all around a glorious, glorious day. And what we were doing is we were putting our foot down on the throat in NHL of teams that are giving up. And that's been working, although I find the NHL card very difficult. But it's Wednesday morning. We're coming off a big winning day, and I'm feeling really good. So, shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Mickey Cohen, Jeff Dean, Dom the Don. Oh, 5-0. Gorgeous, Dom the Don. Jeff Joseph. We'll get that back, Jeff Joseph. Illwise, what up, Jimmy? I'll be telling me yesterday. Now, I did not, and I wish I did. All you guys who were on the Philly solo over, I talked about that on the show. I could only get it at minus 155. I mean, a winner is a winner, and I should have jumped on it anyways. Now, in my action, I can't bet first 5 team totals, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to fix that as soon as I get some cash coming in. I'm going to open up probably Pinnacle because they have great first 5 team totals. But so I didn't bet that. So I went 3-3 in my bets, but 4-3 because of that Starlin Castro home run with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th inning to get that over 1.5. And that was a play that Dave LA pushed me on. But Philly solo over, San Francisco solo over, Carolina solo over in NHL. Great job, Illwise. Shout out to you, my man. Drew Daddy in the house. Dennis Garcia, what can be better than Keeneland starting tomorrow? Well, it's not going to Keeneland because Keeneland has a dress code, so I've not gone to Keeneland. You know, I just also they don't have an infield, so when they're hosting big things like the Breeders' Cup, you have to pay a lot of money to go. Where in the other tracks, you can just spend $25 going to the infield, get lit up. Shout out to Illwise, Red Girl in the house, 7-2 last night. Oh, it feels like a lot of us were hammering last night. Sacktown King in the house. Sebastian Arnold gave out 2 winning parlays yesterday. Man, we were on one, no doubt. Base Kniff, how about them Phillies? Questionable whether we're going to back them again today, but man, do they look good. Matt Randall says, fucking Kennedy, what's he doing closing games for Kansas City? That was sad. It looked like we were going to pull through there, Matt Randall, but we believe in you, and that was a very tight loss. And Joe Anisi sent in the chat twice yesterday, Detroit Tigers, money line +2. Way to go, Joe Anisi. Baseball Bob says, hello, team. Great job yesterday. Lakers first half winner. Phils as a dog with Rays winner, adding Preds and Avs. Made for a great night. Baseball Bob. I love seeing this. This is great, man. If only every day could start off with all of us winning. Jorge, don't play in the house. Jared Schrader, Captain 24/7. Von Polo, Base Kniff, Dav Fenn, Yo-Yo Street. Colv Coleon, man. I love seeing Colv Coleon in the chat. Shout out to my man, Colv Coleon. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, we're rolling. Ron G, Super Cisco, Mally Mal, Top Set. Top Set says, Keeneland, you're broke before your first bet. Okay, and Mally Mal says Homer Bailey. Okay, so remember how we're handling things. Unless you guys, this is our show. But when there's day baseball games, we're going to start with baseball. All of the day games will be capped and broken down. Then we're going to move on to NHL. And because it's a day here, a Wednesday where we have Jay Money joining us, we're going to discuss a bit of the NBA card if we have time, but we're going to do our major hammering with Jay Money on the late show. So then the late games for MLB will be on the late show. This NHL card's pretty gross right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a move on it. We can discuss the 3 games here, though they're broken down. But that's how we're going to handle things. Let's get to work. Colv Coleon says, yes, Homer Bailey, super fade. He actually had a pretty good spring, but I know we don't care about that. Johnny Cotson said, Jimmy told you Philly money line. Oh, that was good dog money. There was a couple great dog spots that you guys were on. Kevin Pine on the Reds to avoid the sweep. Dom the Don says, big NBA slate tonight, 12 games on today. Yes, and we're doing well in NBA, even though I did have a kind of a tough couple weeks there. But starting off this, went 4-3 on Monday and 2-0 on Tuesday, so 6-3 to start the month. Okay, Poppy Longwood said, I told you, Jimmy, don't do it. Royals over easy cash. I said, come on, wasn't that easy, Poppy Longwood? Wasn't that easy? You didn't get it till the very end of the game, but shout out to you, Poppy Longwood. Jansen says, fade Jays, no offense on this team. Okay, well, let's get to work. Let's get to work. We have a lot of games to break down, and we need to work together on this MLB card. So I'm going to go to the Sportsbook review. I'm going to go to the odds page here and get to MLB. And all right, let's get to work. Red Girl says DeGrom, Dave, first 5 under. You missed the 4. It's at 3.5 now, which is actually a play that I might not jump on. But let's get to work. Lamont Williams, George Cruz, let's go. Okay, so we're going to go in order with the morning games and hammer them, do our best. Let's start with Brewers at Reds. Brewers look very, very good. They may be the class of the NL. 5-1, 2-0 on the road, and they're going for the sweep. Freddie Peralta up against Luis Castillo. Castillo had a great opening day, and we know that he can throw hard when he wants to, but it's his other pitches in the arsenal that are stepping up in a big way, especially that changeup, and really impressed Clint Hurdle, even though Clint Hurdle sees him all the time. So obviously there is a big improvement. He's a young, I guess he's 26, but improvement. Okay, Young Suave in the house says Bryce Harper home run and team win plus 1,100. Young Suave. Way to get it, man. That's great stuff. Mikey D says today I'm on Phillies first half, full game minus 135, minus 130, respectively. Okay. Jeff Joseph saying Jays under. Okay. Jansen says bet Jays total unders instead. I hear that. Von Polo said I just hop on the Brewers reverse run line. And Lamont Williams says I love Philly Day. Okay, well, let's just focus from game to game to game and work together here. Okay, 56 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour winds out to right center. Brewers have beaten the Reds 4-3 on consecutive nights. They're now going for the sweep and for their 5th straight win. They've beaten Cincinnati 15 of their last 21 games. Castillo, though, as I said, changeup looked great. Struck out 8 and 5 2/3, allowed just 2 hits, walked 3 in a no decision. Bell pulled Castillo after he gave up a 2-out single in the top of the 6th. Pitch count 91. They've said that Marcellus Wallace. Hey, it's my buddy Marcellus Wallace. I was thinking about you last night, Marcellus Wallace. You know, it's funny. It's so interesting what kind of cappers, which cappers get in your head. And I was thinking about Marcellus Wallace. 5 or 6 runs we got in that first inning, and it was an easy casher. Working together on the Marlins Mets. But I was thinking about you last night, Marcellus Wallace. You know who else I'm thinking about a lot right now is not applicable. Every team he says is going to shit the bed, shits the bed. I've not seen a record. The only comparable record that Not Applicable has with the shit the bed play of the day is when Ragu came on to our show last year, and it was just not straight fire. And I'm sure Ragu can keep that going. But it was just, I don't know if Ragu hit his first 10 or 11 or 12 plays. It was unbelievable. And he kept it going, but it wasn't. But that's what Not Applicable shit the bed. I was thinking about Not Applicable and Marcellus Wallace last night, so both you guys all love Marcellus Wallace working together to fix my MLB record. Speaking of my MLB record, it only improved a little bit, but let's throw it up as transparency and accountability are the building blocks of this show. Oh, it's 11. I thought it was 12-15. Okay. Not as good as I was hoping, but better. 16.08 negative percent ROI. But whatever. Let's just stay focused. Let's think about working with Marcellus Wallace, getting that cash. Chris Garza says all unders in the Final Four in NCAA last night. Yeah, I was on all of them, Chris. I was on each and every one, and I got 2 unders in NBA. Went 6-0 in unders, and was thinking of our man Noli Knows. Okay, let's get back to work here. So let's talk about Castillo. He's faced the Brewers 4 times, 26 in the third. He's 2-1 with a 3.08 ERA and has 34 strikeouts, 7 walks. Freddie Peralta, he's faced this team a lot, and Freddie Peralta didn't look good at times on the road last year. In his rookie season, he went 6-4 with a 2.35 ERA, went at least 6 innings in half of his 14 starts. Against the Cardinals in that first game of the year, he did not look good. 3+ innings, gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. It was Paul Goldschmidt, that 10-pitch at-bat. It was that 40-pitch first inning that got to him. In the 4 games against the Reds, Peralta 1-1 with a 4.15 ERA. In Cincinnati, however, he is 0-1 in 2 starts with a 7.71 ERA. Question is, guys, do we jump on the Reds here? Do we take the Reds to not get swept? I mean, you're taking a favorite, but Peralta, do we trust Peralta? What about just the Reds' first 5? You know, in saying that, the Reds' bullpen looks pretty good. Let's take a look let's get the lineups up here so we can decide exactly how we're going to handle it. What do you guys think about backing the Reds? I know, sorry, I'll have to go back, so I'm just going to get the lineups up here quickly. I am leaning towards backing the Reds and Luis Castillo stopping the sweep. Top Set said, Reds first 5 is my lean, but passing. Christopher Comentini says, pitching favors the Reds. Matt Randall says, I lean Cincy here for sure. I think that we should take Cincy, and their lineup was pretty soft yesterday, so they were saving some of their big bats for today. We got Jesse Winker, Joey Votto, Matt Kemp, Eduardo Suarez. We got Schebler, Dietrich, Casali. It's not great to have him there. Going up against Gamel, Yelich, Braun, Shaw, Aguilar, Moustakas, Pena, Arcia, and Peralta. Obviously, there's a big bat missing from that. Well, their leadoff hitter. I'd not necessarily call him a big bat, but that's not their strongest lineup. Let's see what you guys have to say. Jorge, don't play. Reds to score first at plus 130. That's a very interesting play. And you're getting the big plus line, obviously, because they're the home team. I am Axman says under, but so not certain but not certain on the side. Mally Mouse says, looks like Cincy team total over. Team Money says, keep taking the Phillies. And Bradley Bent is on the under as well. Dwayne Reed, Cincinnati Red money line and minus 1.5 and under 8.5. Interesting. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at what the team totals are going to be here. I'm going to go to Pinnacle for my team totals. And let's get a quick look at what they are here. Quickly grab them here. MLB team totals. Here we go. So, over 3.5 for the Brewers, minus 139, and they're hanging a 4.5 for the Reds at plus 122. And the team total for the first 5 is just, for the Reds, it's just 1.5, but it's minus 160, and I do not want to take these big, giant minus ones. Top Set said, Brewers are hot. Why? Brewers have value on reverse of anything. Nolly Mouse says, looks like since we said that, I am going to back Cincy here. And I guess I still have some fear about the commentator says, I don't trust the Cincy lineup. They are scuffling. Yeah, but they shouldn't be. They've got guys who we know get hot at certain times, especially Suarez. I mean, Winker, Votto, Kemp, 1, 2, 3 is fine. Let's see what we get on the Reds' first 5 here. Cincinnati Reds, first 5 here at MLB odds at sportsbookreview.com. Let's see what my man Lamont says. Oh, just talking about to Rico Money. Shout out to Rico Money in the house. SOB 305 says easy, Orlando. Okay. And Gas Station Sushi says, what is the shit of the bed play? Gas Station Sushi. Remember, like Pete's legendary birthday plays, even though we sort of pushed and forced Pete to make him, and he would get very stressed out about it. But with not applicable, we just let the man figuring out which bet is going to get shit on at his own timing. We don't want to rush that. Okay, so first 5, pick 'em is minus 111. First 5, pick 'em. Oh, wow, that just changed fast. Wow. Pinnacle just changed from minus 111 to minus 127 on the pick 'em. Wow. Okay, let's just go to money line, see if I can get a better money line there. Wow, Pinnacle just moved that big. All right, I'm going to take the Reds on the first 5. I'm going to fade Peralta. Marcellus Wallace is on the over 8.5 in Milwaukee, Cincinnati. Jim Rummy says, okay, let's say people integrity is missing too much sports betting. They all talk about winning bets, winning days. I told you, but when people losing, you never hear about it so truthfully as people winning. That's the what we try to avoid here on the show, and that's why we have our records up, each and every day. And you guys saw me fall apart as a human being with baseball last year. But I hear you, Jim Rummy. There's a lot of talk about people winning and not a lot of talk about people losing, and that was what was very, very important. To have our show be accountable and transparent, even if we are losing. And Pete said to me, well, what happens if you go down 50 units in the sport? And I said, well, I'll go back to Canada. I'll leave. And then I went down 50 units and I didn't leave. I didn't want to go back to Canada. I wanted to stay here in Costa Rica. But okay, let's keep working. But I hear what you're saying, Jim Rummy. I hear what you're saying. Okay, now, I am going to take the Reds' first 5. I'm going to take the Reds' first 5. I feel like that is the spot. And I'm going to jump on it. Okay, first 5, Reds, money line. I'm getting minus 111 at BetOnline. All right, Reds, take care of it early for me, please. Reds, first 5, minus 111. A fade of Freddie Peralta. Fade of Freddie Peralta. Okay, let's keep rolling. Now, Phillies, Nationals. 63 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles per hour in. It's blowing very strong in. Aaron Nola versus Anibal Sanchez. Anibal Sanchez was so good last year getting soft contact. Now he's with the Nationals. Harper looked awesome last night. 458-foot home run, 3 hits. Handled the pressure like he does. I mean, sure, the guy's never played in the playoffs, but, you know, he handled the pressure very, very well. After striking out twice, Harper doubled, singled a run, blasted his 3rd home run of the season, a 2-run shot in upper deck. They've hit 10 home runs, scored 31 runs in their first 4 games. Harper 6 for 14 with 5 RBIs. Nola allowed a run on 2 hits, 6 innings against Atlanta. He struck out 8, walked 5. Walked 5. Okay, let's hear what you guys are saying. Everyone said, Jansen says, ride Phillies. Marcellus Wallace is on the Washington money line. Jin Rami, I hear you, Jin Rami. And you know, Jin Rami here, it's very important. We have so many different types of people in our chat, and Jin Rami's a guy that keeps us straight and keeps us on the straight and narrow, and it's extremely important. And he's a very, very loved member of our family here. Shout out to Cammy Gopher. We got William Cathcart in the house. Okay. Astute Chaos says, man, Phillies, I'm a Nationals fan. CT Bay says, under in Phillies game. Nats lineup is awful. Well, we do know that Trey Turner is now out of the lineup. Let's take a look at this lineup. Adam Eaton, Dozier, Rendon, Soto, Zimmerman, Suzuki, Difo, then Sanchez, Robles. You know, I don't hate that lineup. Against McCutchen, Segura, Harper, Hoskins, Real Muto, Herrera, Hernandez, Franco. Now, one of the things I did last year was lose money not believing in the soft contact that Anibal Sanchez was getting. And Anthony L., who's a great baseball capper. He's a great capper all around, but spectacular baseball capper. He's not in our chat enough, but he was saying, you're making a mistake, and I was. I made many mistakes, just not believing in Anibal Sanchez. The question is, do I believe him here? I can't. Let's see what the money lines are in the totals here. I am Axman says Phillies off the board at Bet365. Interesting. Red Girl liking Philly or Nola strikeouts over. Ray and Hyder says, hope I can stick around until NBA, but Memphis Grizzlies team total under with a good play with Conley and Jonas out. Tulian scores. Got to copy and paste that. Thank you for taking the time and the care to post that, Rayhan. Sorry, let me just copy and paste that. Base Kniff says, Phillies bats are hot. We got a better bullpen. Nola the better pitcher. Better dogs on this card than Nats. Okay, copy and pasting Rayhan's basketball stuff. That's beautiful stuff, Rayhan. Get down to Costa Rica so we can party, please. Okay, let's take a quick look at what we're getting here in the Nationals game for full game, and then we'll go to first 5. Full game, and we know the wind is blowing in heavy. And let's see what we get. Minus 130, so the Phillies open up minus 120. There's been a 9-cent move at BetOnline, and the total, there's 7.5s on the board and 8s. I do think that the under would be around. Team Money says Phillies lineup is stacked. You know, I'm going to stay, and Mikey D saying a little over a year ago, Sanchez had a 6.5 ERA. I know. That got in my head, Mikey, and I got hurt. Shout out to DJ Big Boss in the house. Love seeing that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay off this game. I'm very curious to see if the Nationals can handle the adversity, losing Trey Turner. Phillies are 4-0. They're playing very good. Oh, sorry, Chris Gill. It says Anaheim Angels killed me last night. That was my fault. I thought we were looking good there. Up 1-0, but Bally Mouse says Washington was lucky not to get swept by the Mets. I agree. Christopher Comentine says Sanchez might be underestimated, but the Nats have no bullpen. Yeah, the Nats first 5 would be a look. Nats first 5 at home. Do we want to go against Aaron Nola? I don't. You know what? I'm gonna stay off that game. Let's move on to White Sox Indians. 46 Fahrenheit, so it's a tiny bit warmer, clear, but the wind is so strong ridiculously strong. Oh, so strong that I almost didn't believe it. There's some heavy wind coming in. Shout out to Maine 910 from Alaska, starting the baseball season very, very strong. So, White Sox have struggled against Cleveland enormously last 2 years. Batted 190, just getting outscored horrifying, losing 24 of their last 31 games against them. But this Indians team, just like last year, starting off very cold, mustered 6 runs in their first 34 innings, scoring 4 in their final at bat. I don't have any worry. Sorry, I just got to look at the times of these games. 12:30, And this show, no, I'll be able to get that bet in on the Cincinnati Reds because that game starts at 10. Okay, beautiful. Sorry, I just got a little fear there. Chris Gill says, it wasn't your fault, bro. Not all. We'll get it back. We will get it back. Tom Marino joining us. Tom Marino, who's now $100 richer thanks to making a bet against me in NHL. The Flyers, I had to pay out the Flyers not making the playoffs. Shout out to our guy, Tom Marino. It says, Kluber tends to wear down, but he's strong early. I'd lean under. And Rodon is strong when he's healthy. I agree with that. You know, and we've been waiting for Carlos Rodon to be the ace of this staff for a while. I mean, this guy wasn't he a top 5 draft pick in MLB? 3.38 ERA, started off the year 5 1/3, but he looked very good in 5 1/3, 0.75 WHIP. So White Sox have struggled. Their bullpen has fallen apart again, just like last year. 9 ERA, 7 walks, and 10 innings of work, and cost us money already in the big plus line we had him on Monday at plus 141 when they fell apart late to the Indians and the under. Yolmer Sanchez, Yohan Moncada, they struggle against Kluber. Jose Abreu has had success, 16 for 50, so he can hit him. Carlos Rodon looked good. 4-3 with 2.66 ERA, 14 games against Cleveland. Santana, 7 for 21 against Rodon. And Tim Anderson, not in the lineup because his wife just gave birth. I think this is a nice spot. Oh, wow. But Stu Chaos says, do we take the over? I can't take the over with the win like this. Let's see what we get totals-wise here. So, well, first off, money lines and totals. It's a 6.5. Oh, God. That's just too low to take. Let's see what it is first 5. Oh, 6.5. Carlos Burrows saying White Sox Cleveland over. Well, 8.5, you mean 6.5, I'm guessing. And a run in the first inning. Wow. You know, I guess that'll just take me off the game. But there is a 4. There is a 4. You know, I think that 4 is pretty nice. Let's see what we get. First 5 totals. Baseball Bob says like the under in the Indians game at 7. Yeah, 6.5 is just too low. But first 5, let's talk about that. There's 4s. You know, and that's nice to me. Minus 124 is a lot of juice. But it's free. It's cold. It's windy. Super Cisco likes the over too. Why Super Cisco? Why do you like the over? I'd love to hear that. Trevor Loudon questioning about the under. The over will hit those bullpens. Okay, yeah, I get that the bullpens suck. Okay, so that's what you guys are talking about. But Ben Sports 24/7 says White Sox Cleveland first 5 unders to play. I'm going to jump on this, and Pinnacle is so I'll have to figure out what my book's doing. But Pinnacle's hanging a 4 right. They're no longer hanging the 4. All right. Well, I didn't get the bet in, so I don't get the 4. Is there any 4 out there? God damn it. All right. I'm not going to blame Super Cisco. My man, Frankie. It's my fault. I should have jumped on it. Do we want to take it at 3.5 at plus money? I don't know. Let's go back to that. Let's not take too long on this. 3 under 3.5 at plus money. What do you guys think about that? Under 3.5 at plus money. All right, let's move on to another spot with excellent pitchers. Rockies, Rays. Marquez versus Morton. Rays are looking for the sweep. Tampa has outscored Houston and Colorado. 2 very good teams by 22-10 margin. Is Tampa just going to run to the division title here? God, they look good. Morton looked great in his first appearance against his old club. 7 of his 8 strikeouts were with his giant curveball. 5th straight win. Snell yesterday struck out 13. Tommy Pham is 1 shy of Johnny Damon's team record for on base. You look at the guys who are doing it, and you're like, who's Guillermo Heredia? Brandon Lowe? I mean, Christian Arroyo, we know he was a highly thought of prospect. Rockies have lost 4 straight. They're not getting any offense. Marquez was very good last year and should be very good again. Let's see what you guys. Torino says I'm on Colorado. Marquez is great on the road. Rockies line is better than Tampa's. More than likely won't be sharp after pitching against his own team. But Nino says, Jimmy, did you take Anaheim? Are you talking hockey? Because we haven't got to that yet. Lucky Lefty in the house. Nice to see Lucky Lefty. On point wagers. What did he make? The White Sox Indians first inning no score. Yeah, but what's the juice going to be on that? Rays just look good. Tampa Bay 6 straight unders. Jimmy, make it 7. No, I can't make first 5 team totals ill-wise, and that's my fault, and that's going to change this baseball season. I will not sit here without being able to make those bets. Cobra Sports says Rays are going to be dangerous this year. Okay, I think I think we've got to take some unders here, but do the Rockies have value in Marquez against Morton? I mean, maybe they do. Let's take a look here. Maybe they do. So, first off, we have 3.5s again. Just like in that White Sox-Cleveland game, 3.5s plus money to the under. Do you want to take those? Let's see what the full game totals are. Bulgogi says Rockies alternative run line minus 1.5 at plus 230. Tam Malley saying Rockies are 0-5 in the Tampa Bay ballpark right now. Dwayne Reed like in White Sox plus a half first 5. Dwayne Reed, that might be a spectacular bet. What are you getting on that? Be very curious to know. Ganja Gamer says Yankees the Munson. So, King Rail says any bet you liking the most in the early MLB, Jimmy? I think I just got to, King Rail, I really don't feel confident at this early time of the year. You know what happened to me last year, so I'm pretty pensive and I don't want to lead you astray. So, but I'm very excited to be on King's Court tonight with all the giant basketball games that we have. So that's very, very exciting. But I'm just very fearful. It's a 6.5. Let's see what we get on the Rockies money line because I think that's an interesting look. Oh, Kylie Reynolds, that race was yesterday. And I lost it, so you guys were lucky not to be on it. Okay. I think that's a nice look. It's got to be a nice look, doesn't it? Marquez on the road. I think that's got to be a nice look. I think that Tom Marino's right. You're getting a plus line on the Rockies squad. What are they just going to get swept here? They have their best pitcher going. I mean, that's arguable. Yeah, I'm getting a plus 123 at Bet Online. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Rockies money line plus 123. Plus 123. Oh, thank you, Don. I love being on the show. It's a very, very, very fun. Okay, so that's what's up. I just jumped on the Rockies money line. Okay. And then then we need to get back at some point to this White Sox Indians. Should I jump on the under 3.5? I'm getting close. PG007 says love Cleveland under. Baseball Bob says Joe West is behind the plate. Damn, you're right. Oh no. Okay, I've got to keep focused here. I'm very close to making a move on that under 3.5. Let's talk Twins Royals. Homer Bailey Day. Kyle Gibson versus Homer Bailey. Let's take a quick look here at what we're getting. Money lines and totals. Full game here. SBR odds. So the total is at 8.5. And Minnesota, as everybody would guess, is big favorites. This Mally Mouse says Homer Bailey is cursed. Allison said that's my play too, Jimmy. Let's get it. Go Rockies. Okay. Kylie Reynolds taking the under 7 in the Cleveland game. I'd much prefer just the under 3.5, I think. Because you have to buy up to 7. Okay. And shout out to Hattori Hanzo in the house. Love seeing that. Okay. Viper MB says Twins minus 1.5 max bet. Take it to the bank. Everybody I've seen is on the Twins. And William Cathcart talking about Homer Bailey's 1-14 record last year, 6.09 ERA. First off, Adalberto Mondesi's going to be a beast. God, he looks good. Inside the park home run, stole bases, hit a double, betting 417, 2 doubles, 2 triples, homer, 5 RBIs after 4 games. Kyle Gibson looked good last year, 10-13, 3.62 ERA. The Royals have seen him quite a bit. The Twins desperately needed a big bat in the middle of their order, and they're getting one here, and they look good with it. The Nelson Cruz leading by example. They're not going to have Buxton, it looks like, for this Wednesday game. Why don't we make sure that that's the case? Buxton here. Wow. Look at what an ugly lineup. Look at that Indians lineup. Martin Ramirez, Luplo, Santana, Hanley Ramirez, Allen, Perez, Moroff, Stamets at shortstop. You know what? I'm going to take the under 3.5 at a plus price. I am going to take that first 5 under 3.5 at a plus price. And we shall see if that blows up in my face. Totals here, under 3.5. Man, I can't believe I didn't bet that for, or at least make it an official play here. Under 3.5 at plus 108. Wow. Interesting. Pinnacle hanging at plus 108, whereas bookmakers at minus 110. Wild. Okay, I'm taking the under 3.5 in this game here. White Sox game. Indians under 3.5, first 5. Under 3.5 at plus 108. All right, book it. Dave LA says, I'm not touching the Twins, and I understand that. I mean, everybody and their mama is on the Twins on the run line. Everybody and their mom fading Homer Bailey, and I'm not going to either. let's take a quick look at what lineup they're pulling out here. Twins have Kepler, Polanco, Cruz, Rosario, Estudio, Cave, Garver, Adrianza, and Austin going up against Merrifield, Mondesi, Gordon, Soler, O'Hearn, Owings, Dozier, Maldonado, and Hamilton. I'm going to stay off of it. So Minnesota, let's just look at, full game, money lines and totals. Oh, we went over that already. Okay, yeah, I'm with Dave Elliott. I'm going to stay off that game. I will be cheering for you guys, but I'm going to stay off it. All right, let's talk Diamondbacks, Padres, and let's try to speed up the pace a little bit, but not get overwhelmed. 65 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour out to right field. Robbie Ravers, Joey Lucchesi. Now, Twatty Latte liking these team total overs with the Diamondbacks, and God, is he sharp. Shout out to Twatty Latte. Now, the Diamondbacks keep seeing lefties, and I know that Lucchesi's a dangerous lefty, but they keep seeing lefties, and that takes the power away from lefties. So, and there's my man, Maxwell Smart. The chicken tenders were flying out of Popeyes all over the continent last night. Max, you were on one. Man. Thank you very much. I need it very badly. Antoine Seymour in the house. Okay. Let's get back to work here. Oh, Bulgogi said, anyone who bet Texas A&T was easy money or what? Well, easy money for Max and for Bulgogi. Okay, let's stay focused. Miami Boy says Padres overhyped. Okay, let's stay focused, you guys. We need to work together. I need you guys focused if I'm going to have a positive units this year. Okay, Diamondbacks, Padres. Is the over in play here? Let's take a quick look at money lines and totals. Arizona, San Diego. It's at 7 with Ray and Lucchesi. Is just the Arizona team total over in play? Bon Polo says Diamondbacks team total over minus 125. I think that would be it. Torino said Arizona being a great under team last year was because the market underestimated weather. Brian B says, I'm coming to Canada, Toronto, Montreal this summer. Let's go. I love hearing that, Brian B. Please let me know when you do. I got a lot of hookups. Okay. Baseball Bob giving a big shout out to Maxwell Smart. Tom the Don says Texas was free money. I think that, again, Twatty Latte's ahead of the market. I think that, yes, Lucchesi's a great pitcher, and he had a great start, but he's a third straight left-handed starter that they've seen. They just hammered Strom. Erlin came in after for 2 1/3, so there's another lefty. They got to Eric Lauer. Lucchesi was 0-5 against Arizona as a rookie. All that said and done, I don't want to get in the way of Robbie Ray, although maybe Arizona's just a play all around. Maybe Arizona's a play at Petco Park, 2-1, 3.51 ERA, 168 points batting average. Now, the Padres do have new right-handed bats in their lineup, Machado, but Kinsler, Tatis Jr. Let's take a look at lineups here. Maybe I should double up here. Arizona's got Marte, Escobar, Peralta, Flores, Jones, Walker, Ahmed, Kelly. I don't know how they're doing it. And then here the Padres bring out all these righties. You know, I think that Lucchesi's vulnerable here. Let's see what you guys have to say. Tomarino says Arizona is playing well. Good on the road when healthy. Says I'd lean Arizona. Rays pitching good as an underdog in Parks. Jin Rami says take your Arizona under and go to sleep. Lucchesi's been very good. What do you guys think about this here? What do you guys think? I'd love to hear. DJ Big Boss likes the under in the Padres game. I think that Lucchesi's going to get touched and Rob Ray may not. Lamont Williams liking on the reverse run line. Oh, interesting. Lamont Williams going for a big score. You know, I'm going to do 2 things here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to take the team total. I'm going to go to Pinnacle. Take the team total over here for Arizona. And what am I getting here? Sorry, guys, a lot of games. Arizona, there it is. Team total over 3.5 at plus 110. I'm going to take it over 3.5 for the Diamondbacks. Team total over 3.5 at plus 110. And then I'm going to take the Diamondbacks to win again. And Neil Frank's on Arizona first 5. Carter, Spider liking Arizona team total over 3. I'll have to shop for the 3. I'm going to take Arizona on the money line. I feel like there's value, and I just think Lucchesi can get touched here. I mean, you keep seeing lefties over and over again. You're going to take care of business. So I'm going to look at Mr. Gokster says Twatty kills baseball. He sure does. Money lines. All right. And let's get to work here. Arizona money line. Is this full game? It is full game. I wonder if first 5 is the play. You know what? I'm gonna take first 5 instead, like Neil Frank is saying. I'm gonna jump with Neil Frank because, yeah, how long will Robbie Ray go? He can walk a lot of pitchers. It's early in the year. I'm gonna take him first 5. I like that look. Where am I? Arizona first 5. Come on, show your face. Arizona first 5. I'm getting plus 122 at Bookmaker, and that's what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Arizona. Team total over 3.5 at plus 110, and first 5 plus 122. All right, we're in business. Let's get to work here. Okay, Tigers, Yankees, 66 Fahrenheit, but very heavy winds sideways across the diamond, 20 miles per hour. We have Loaisaga going up against Matthew Boyd. I don't trust Loaisaga, and Matthew Boyd, 10 Ks, 1 walk. He did not look good against the Jays. And that makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Shout out to Brian B, 12-4 so far. Dwayne Reed says, Jimmy, that's a good bet. Like hearing that. And Neil Frank says, I think the Padres bullpen is solid. Yeah, well, we saw that last year. They were better than solid. They were almost spectacular. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, Tigers, Yankees. Teams have traded 3-1 games. They were both played in 45-degree Fahrenheit. Today's going to be nicer, 66 Fahrenheit. That's a big difference for these guys. Without 4 regulars, Yankees off to a very slow start. They're hitting .242. They've scored 19 runs. No Stanton, no Andujar. Those are the big losses, but no Gregorius and Hicks as well. Luke Voigt avoided injury. Yesterday, it looked like he might have got hurt when he was hit on the hand by Jimenez, but he's going to be fine. Tigers have split the first 6 games despite not scoring more than 4 runs in any game. They're batting .169 as a team, .261 on base percentage. Detroit has a 2.33 ERA, though, after Zimmerman held the Yankees to 1 run in 6 2/3. Boyd made his season debut Friday. He allowed 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 hits, 10 strikeouts over 5. His bad record versus the Yankees, 7.36 ERA against them. Ben Sports 24/7 says Detroit great underdog value, especially with all those Yankees injuries to their bats. And Russell Gordy says Tigers and under until it loses. That makes a ton of sense. Baseball Bob says very windy here in New York. Under in the Yankees game. Do you trust the under with these shit pitchers? And I guess I shouldn't say shit pitchers. I mean, we think Loaisaga is going to be a good pitcher. Obviously, he's a high-ranked prospect. But let's take a look at what we're getting for full game money lines and totals. All right, here we go. It's 8 now. Oh, it's up to 9.5. Wow. That just does sound too high. Let's see what we're getting first 5. 9.5 is full game. Let's see what we're getting first 5. Yankees first 5. 5.5. I guess, the bullpens have been pretty good. And look how bad these lineups are. That's the issue. With the Tigers, you got Harrison, Castellanos, Cabrera, Candelario, Goodrum, Stewart, Matuk, Mercer. That's actually maybe a better lineup. I don't know. No, I guess it's not. LeMahieu, Judge, Voigt, Sanchez, Torres, Gardner, Frazier, Tauchman, Tulowitzki. I don't know what to do with this game. And I'm going to stay off of it. Matt Randall says if the game goes over New York, Yankees is the play. Gas Station Sushi on Tampa Bay Downs, race 7. Taking the 5, King Nekia Max Bet. Thank you for letting us know, Gas Station Sushi. That's a copy and paste from me. Although I would have to put more money in my horse account. Put $60 on that 8th race yesterday. And that was my last 60. Okay, here we go. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Gas Station Sushi. All that said and done, you know what? I'm going to stay off of this spot. I feel uncomfortable. I feel a little lost. And I'm just going to stay off of it. Okay, let's move on to the Orioles game. We've got a few, just 2 more games. Okay, good. 2 more games here. We have Orioles, Jays, Mets, Marlins, and that's it. Okay, let's talk Orioles, Jays right now. Nate Carnes versus Matt Shoemaker. Orioles are 4-1. What a juggernaut. Shoemaker looked great in his Blue Jay debut. Orioles won. Cashner pitched very good. 6 runless innings. Fry and Castro took care of the final 3 innings. I've always liked Castro, but he's just never as dominant as he looks. But his stuff looks very good to me. Rowdy Tellez hit a homer in the 9th inning. Good thing we have Rowdy Tellez for the 500 fans or so that are going to show up to each Blue Jays game this year. God, shit team, shit stadium. So Nate Carnes is another question mark. He's an Orioles opener. He lasted 2 innings and 33 pitches against the Yankees. He allowed 1 hit, 3 walks. So he didn't pitch at all last season because of right elbow inflammation. He looked okay in spring. Shoemaker looked great, though. He looked very good. And then I'm excited if he is capable of resurrecting his career. Dennis Garcia, like in the Baltimore-Toronto under. The Blue Jays traded away Kevin Pillar. Good. And they released Bud Norris. That was strange. Very strange releasing him. But they extended Greichuk 5 years, $52 million. And they're going to bring up Anthony Alford, who could be a beast, could be a 5-tool player. Dave LA says Orioles win team total over 59. Yes, and he gave that on our show. He also gave that on Natalie's show. That was great. That's a good call. Tormarino says Shoemaker isn't a 150 pitcher. You know, this is another spot that I don't want to have anything to do with. You know, Bulgogi said Orioles putting money in my pockets. Or Cobra Sports says Orioles will settle down, be ready. They're on the auto fade every game. I'll lose early to win big. I hear that. Let's take a look at these lineups. For the Orioles, you got Mullen, Smith, VR, Mancini, Ruiz, Ricard, Davis, Sucre, and Russ. Or no, that's not Russell Martin. Sorry, that's who is that Martin? And then we have Drury, McKinney, Hernandez, Smoke, Jansen, Tellez, Alford, Gurriel, Galvis. You know, I like that lineup for Toronto. Richie Martin, 24-year-old Richie Martin. Gotta study him up a bit. Okay, in that spot, I don't think I want anything to do with these two shit teams. Barham Dog Jenkins in the house, love seeing that. And he agrees seeing Arizona scoring. Okay, that's great. Russell Gordy says Blue Jays is a play. You know, that's a nice lineup. I love getting Anthony Alford up there. This guy's earned it. Let's see what we're going to get. Full game, money lines and totals. Jays are getting minus 148. Top Set says time to fade the birds. You know what? Look at this lineup. This is a lineup that I kind of like for us, for the Jays. Drury, McKinney, Hernandez, Smoke, Jansen, Tellez, Alfred, Gurriel, Galvis. Look at that back, 7, 8, 9. Alfred, Gurriel, Galvis. And the Orioles are going to go to a bullpen day, and they don't have a good bullpen. Their bullpen's shit. Not only is their bullpen shit, but the guys who I think are the best in that bullpen have just been used. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. I'm taking the Toronto Blue Jays for the first time all year. I'm taking the Blue Jays minus 1.5. I'm getting plus 135 at Heritage. It's time. It's time. Minus 1.5 at plus 135 at Heritage. Okay, let's get into Mets Marlins. Dave LA said Jays let me down. Yeah, I'm with you, Elio. Says fade Orioles this game. Okay, now we got to our final game, and we got to be quick here. Mets, Marlins, DeGrom, Richards. This is another interesting spot. I mean, okay, first off, yes, you know, obviously, DeGrom is a fantastic pitcher, first 5, all that stuff. But if there's one team that sort of had his number, it's the Miami Marlins. Dave L.A. saying, don't do it, Jimmy, and don't in capital letters. Okay, Dave L.A. It's a little late. Says, Jays will let you down this year often. You know what? It says, take the over 8.5 instead. You know, I hear you, Dave L.A., but I've done it. I've already done it. Okay. Oh, and King Rail says, are we on Reds first 5 or full game? I'm on Reds first 5. So let's talk about this spot here. Now, you know, I've got a thing, and you don't want these to get, but I like Trevor Richards. I like his story. I like the guy. DeGrom, this is a 6.5 total, and the Marlins have been able to touch DeGrom. But Stucci's on full game. I'm on first 5. Christopher Comatini's on first 5 too. CT Bay says Richards is good, but Marlins get shut out. See what we can get an idea of what the lineup's going to be. I'm sure it's not out yet, expected. Davis, Alonso, Cano, Conforto, Ramos, McNeil, Rosario, Broxton for the Mets. For the Marlins, Granderson, Anderson, Walker, Castro, Alfaro, Riddle, O'Brien, Brinson, and Richards. You know, what I'm going to do... Oh, no worries, Dave. No worries, Dave. I'm sorry. I just, you know, I already made it, but I love having you, Dave. And we need to get you back on the show this week, so let's figure out a nice afternoon that we can get you on with a big late card. Maybe tomorrow will work. Okay. DeGrom. DeGrom's ready to go. Also, Edwin Diaz and Yeris Familia were unavailable yesterday, so they're all going to be back. In 2 starts at Marlins Park last year, DeGrom went 0-1 with 5.25 ERA. 0-2 with a 3.12 ERA, 2 no decisions, and 4 starts against Miami in 2018. I know DeGrom is spectacular. The 1.51 ERA against everybody else in baseball. Team Money saying Phillies minus 130 is a gift. Interesting. On Monday, Miami lost 7-3, but loaded the bases with none out in the bottom of the 9th before Diaz struck out 3 batters. Tuesday, New York escaped a 6-5 jam. Me and Marcellus Wallace hammered that over. You know, I guess, to be honest with you, the play that's most appealing, I'm going to stay off of it. Baseball Bob says Jimmy over is very trendy. Yeah, I like the over. I like the over at 6.5, but I've got a lot of time to figure out if I'm going to make it. And we can also talk about it right at the beginning of the late show. So let's move on. I'm leaning towards the over 6.5, but I don't need to force it. And we'll see how everything's going. Okay, that's my card. Dave LA's on Cubs money line and over 9.5 in Yankees so far. This is my card. I'm on Reds first 5 at minus 111. I'm on the White Sox Indians first 5 under 3.5 at plus 108. I'm on the Rockies money line at plus 123. I'm on the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 at plus 110 and the first 5 at plus 122. I stayed off the Tigers Yankees. And then I'm on the Jays minus 1.5 at plus 135. All right, that is my card. Okay, beautiful. Let's move on to NHL. And I was here till very, very late. And the records are almost done. It's just putting them on spreadsheets, and I'm spending hours doing it. So the records will be on this week. It won't just be baseball. We'll have every single record, and we'll just have the 2 different dates from the dates when I wasn't covering them in the dates that I am. So they're going to be going. Dwayne Reed says Toronto minus 1.5 value bet, so he likes it. Ski Prophet says later, are we fading Homer Bailey? Seems like everybody on Twitter is, Ski, but I am not. And I'm not. I'm just staying off the game, and Dave LA is also staying off the game. Okay. And I should copy and paste Dave LA's plays. Cubs money line and over 9.5 in the Yankees game so far. Beautiful. Okay, copied and pasted. Okay, let's talk NHL. Coming off a nice night in NHL. I wouldn't say very nice night, I guess. It was 4-3, but there were some plus lines in there. And lost with Arizona, which, as Mally Mal put it, and both Jim Rummy and Mally Mal were like, it's crazy to be taking them in that situation. I think the problem with the capping wasn't that the Coyotes should never be that kind of a favorite because, they're playing for the playoffs. It was just that the Kings had been completely embarrassed the night before. And, they do have some heart with that team. So that there was a mistake capping there. But still, nice positive day in NHL. And we've been rolling in NHL. But I find this a tough card. All right, let's go to NHL here. SBR odds. Senators, Rangers, Nilsson, Lundqvist. Each club looking to bounce back from a loss on Monday. Rangers had won 2 in a row before losing 4-2 at Jersey on Monday night. Brett Howden is back, and he's a guy they're really looking to for the future. Both Brett Howden and Philip Chittle scored, and Lundqvist made 37 saves, but it wasn't enough. Howden has a goal and 5 points in 4 games with the Rangers. He's a fast, young player who could do a lot of damage for the Rangers. He's one of the guys they got in the trades with the Lightning. New York lost for the 8th time in 11 games, but Georgiev could be in net, going for a 3rd straight win. He's coming off a 3-0 shutout at Philly on Sunday. He's playing very well. But if you're looking for goals or looking for totals, if you're looking for unders, which I can't do with Anders Nilsson, who's in net. Anders Nilsson has allowed 9 goals in his last 2 starts, but the Rangers aren't going to have Pavel Buchnevich, and he's been rolling. He has 4 goals and 4 assists on a 7-game point streak. Jesper Fast done for the year. Ottawa just came off a 2-2 homestand with a 5-2 loss to Tampa on Monday. Brady Tkachuk, 19-year-old Brady Tkachuk scored his 21st goal of the season. God, he's playing well. What a family the Tkachuks are. To remind me of when the Stalls were coming up. All those Stalls. And even thinking about the Stalls bright and early this morning, I had to take a look at Jared Stahl, the one Stahl brother who didn't make it. God, I'd hate to be the one Stahl brother, the 4th Stahl brother. He was 2nd round pick. And I was like, man, where the hell is this guy? He doesn't play anymore. Last year was 2016-17. He was playing in Denmark for a year. He played in 2015-16 in the ECHL. So the guy was still trying to make it. And that's very difficult. It's just tough. I mean, I'm sure he's fine in life. Sure, he can do anything he wants because his brothers will invest. But it sucks being the one son that didn't make it. In saying that, I don't want to touch this game. I don't want to bet on shit teams right now. I feel like the volatility increases. Mr. Gokes are talking about not having Shabbat in the lineup. Yeah. no doubt. Jim Ram says, I'm never taking a favorite minus 200 range, even on puck line. That makes no sense to me. Prices are steep in this situation. I did it with the Stars yesterday in the same situation, and that cashed at plus 150. I'm not afraid to make bets that I think are going to win, even if other people say they don't have value in and this is the only sport that I'll do it with, but I love having you, Jim Rummy, to keep us straight. Torino saying NHL card is much better tomorrow. Philip Fernandez says, Mally, so this is a no-brainer Rangers money line. Anders Nilsson's bad. I could understand people taking Rangers money line. There's no doubt about that. Let's see what we're getting here. Rangers money line, minus 170, not in a million years. All right, I'm off the game. I can understand taking Rangers minus 1.5 then. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Okay, Blues, Blackhawks. We got Binnington, Crawford. And another thing just about this Anders Nilsson situation. 305 goals against average, 907 save percentage, but he was so hot when he first came to Ottawa. Now they're seeing the real Anders Nilsson not doing well. Shout out to Dwayne Reed. God, I love these. Okay, let's get to work. Daryl Lyles is on the Flames, Ducks over. Base Kniff says definitely stay. Oh, talking about, okay. Let's move on to this spot here with the Blues, Blackhawks. Binnington, Crawford. Binnington, 22-5-1, 1.85 goals against average, 928 save percentage, 5 shutouts. And I implore you, moving forward, capping NHL, and I know this sounds just too trivial, but when a goalie comes up that's 6'1" or smaller in height, back them immediately. Back them immediately, because every single scout put a fucking line through them all their lives because they weren't tall enough and they made it into the NHL. So just keep that in the back of your head. St. Louis 7-1-1 last 9 games, 3-2 shootout victory at home over Colorado on Monday night. Ryan O'Reilly, a guy with very questionable character, a guy I don't like, but I guess who cares? I mean, he drinks and drives into a Tim Hortons in the summer and flees the scene. I mean, what is... Everybody makes mistakes. Maybe I'm just too harsh with Ryan O'Reilly, but I really liked him when he was 18, 19 coming up, and he's just disappointed me. 47 assists, 74 points. Joel Edmondson progressing from his lower body injury. He's going to be ready for the playoffs. They're going to try to get him back before the end of the year. Blackhawks have lost 6 of 8, coming off 4-3 overtime loss at home to the Jets on Monday night. Taves matches career high with 34 goals, set career high 78 points. Kane, career high 105 points, although he's got 1 goal in his last 50 games. Why is this team shit? And it's Duncan Keith and Seabrook. And even Seabrook's having a better year than he did last year. It's just Duncan Keith is not the dominant Norris Trophy type defenseman that he was. And they're just hurting because of it. They've given these guys too much money. And my highest level of hockey was trying out for a team that Duncan Keith was the star of, the Penticton Panthers, now the Penticton Vs. They were originally the Penticton Vs. They won an Olympic gold in 1951, I believe. Okay, let's keep going. Flames, Ducks. I don't want to have anything to do with this Blues Blackhawks spot. I don't really like this card at all, to be honest with you. And maybe I just need to sit on it or hear what you guys are saying. Tomino says I'd lean over. Blackhawks played no defense when they had a chance to make the playoffs. If that's the case, I like Binnington, and maybe it's the Blues would be the team to take. Ganja Gamer says, which Canadian hasn't run into a Tim Hortons? I like that, Ganja Gamers. Respect. Lucky Lefty liking the over 5.5. I mean, it's going to be heavily juiced because just 6 on the boards now, so you have to buy down. Shout out Mikey D. Eddie Orley says, Blues money line and under 6.5, under 6. Yeah, it's just... I guess St. Louis would be the play. I guess. But you know that the Blackhawks do care when the Blues come to town. But the Blues need this. Maybe just simply put the Blues is the play. Let's just see what we get on the puck line for the Blues. I mean, the Blues care right now. The Blackhawks are losing out. Blackhawks can't win. The Blackhawks want to lose to get a chance at a top draft pick. Minus 1.5 at plus 190. Eddie always says Blues want to win this game. I think that is the play. I'm going to take the Blues minus 1.5 to take care of business, I think. Brian McGonigal says Blues money line low-hanging fruit, but I mean, at minus 170, there is no such thing as low-hanging fruit. Alex Ramirez says stay away. The Blues need this. The Blues, they can still win the division at this point. And the Blackhawks don't care. Yeah, okay. Okay, I wasn't going to make a move on it, but I guess there's value at plus 190. I'm going to jump on it. Blues minus 1.5. I guess I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to just sit on it right now. Blues puck line. It seems to be the spot. Oh, Eddie Oil says Ward may go for the Hawks. That will help Blues immensely. You're right. Okay. Even if he doesn't go, I think the Blues have a real reason to win this game and should take care of business here. I'm getting plus 190 at 5 dimes. Minus 1.5, plus 190. Let's grab it. Okay, then we have Flames Ducks. Trip started with a 5-3 victory at San Jose for the Flames. That clinched the Pacific Division of Western Conference. Then they go on with 6 regulars out of the lineup. Kachuk, Backlund, Giordano, Brody, Hamonic, Hannafin. There's their top 4 defensemen, and they beat up on the Kings 7-2 on Monday night. The only time in their history that they've won 50 games was when they won 54 and 88-89, and that team won the Cup before barely getting past the Vancouver Canucks in the first round, thanks to Joel Otto's skate, Jim Poplinski to Joel Otto, overtime of Game 7. I don't remember ever caring about a series that much in my entire life. The steamer, breakaway, and Vernon glove hands him. I remember it all like it was yesterday. Petri Skriko hitting the post. God, we were 56 points. Whatever. We don't have time for this stuff. Sam Bennett has missed 5 games with upper body injury. He returned and scored a goal before leaving late in the second period. He's playing with a lot of toughness and grit. Leads the team with 93 penalty minutes. They say he's not seriously injured. James Neal had a goal and an assist in Monday's game and a +4. If they get James Neal rolling too, this is just going to be a juggernaut. And remember, I have $100 on them at plus 1,400 to win the West. $100 on them at plus 2,800 to win the Cup. And I never added on to it all year. I just left that be. And I just hit the win the division $100 at plus 560. But as you guys know, I lost $500 on the Habs team total. Ducks announced that Troy Terry, the team's top prospect, out 8 to 12 weeks. But Getzlaf took part in Tuesday's practice. That shows a lot of heart coming back late. Nick Ritchie participated in Tuesday's practice, upper body injury, so they're both coming back. Josh Manson probably done for the season, their defenseman. And Brendan Gould maybe back for Friday's regular season finale. Eddie Oiler, I know that. Cubs 50 years. No, I'm not going to make a move on the Canucks here. The Flames. I'm not going to make a move on the Flames. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with these guys coming back and not caring. So the only play I'm on is the minus 1.5 with the Blues. That's my only play in NHL. And we have a huge NBA card that we are going to spend the whole late show on, and then I'm going to be on King's Court. So to all the NBA guys, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance, but overwhelmed right now. And this is the only week this is going to happen because the playoffs are going to be on next week in NHL, so that's going to completely cut down. And then the playoffs are going to come in NBA, and that's going to cut down, and we're going to be able to handle everything. Dennis Garcia says Anaheim shows up tonight. Dennis Garcia, I think you're right. And I think by Ritchie and Getzlaf coming back, that's going to happen. So, it might be a very, very sneaky move to take Anaheim today. Take Anaheim. What would you get at home on the money line? Let's see. Plus 144, plus 140. I think you might be right. I'm just going to leave that as a lane. I think that might be a very, very sharp look. But let's make sure that Getzlaf and Ritchie are back. All right, let's bring in Drew Martin right now. Sorry, Drew, it's just such a tough card. I wish I got to you a few minutes earlier. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon or morning?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. And it's only one college basketball game tonight, but we got the Final Four this weekend and starting to get the gears going in MLB. But overall, excited to be on the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, man. Coming off a big night, so I'm doing great. It was a tough month in March, and I know I got a big hole to get myself out of, but it's coming off a great day. I went 6-0 in unders in NBA and NCAA. Ended up 4-2 in NCAA, but it was just a great day. I was up in every single sport last night. It feels very, very good. Super Cisco says, like the NBA card today. Yeah, and let's see what King Rail's on. Sorry, I'm on the okay, copy and pasting that. Thank you, King Rail. And apologies, just time, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to the NBA card, but I promise we hammer it completely and totally with J Money is Money on Late Show. Okay, let's start. Do you have any looks on this baseball card before we move on to the one game in the NCAA basketball?
Jimmy, I just wanted to kind of point out a couple things that I've noticed in years past in early MLB seasons. Sometimes some of these streaks out of the gate are something you should look to ride. And I've had some success doing it. And some things I'm looking at, Tampa Bay is six games in, six straight unders. Also up 4 units on the season. We also got the Angels, the same profile, six straight unders. Teams to look, to continue on some of these trends. Cincinnati Reds, four straight unders, whatever it is on the offensive end. I look for this to continue until it doesn't type thing. We have six straight overs for the Arizona Diamondbacks, 5-1 to the over for the LA Dodgers. Also, the Red Sox down almost 7 units to date. They are coming back home, so maybe look for that to change. Milwaukee Brewers up 4 units year to date. Philadelphia Phillies up almost 5 units year to date, and the Seattle Mariners up almost 8 units this early in the season. So if you've been betting the Mariners, I wouldn't talk you off of it. Maybe look for some of these trends to continue throughout the early season here, Jimmy.
Yeah, especially with the Angels offense. Christopher Comentini saying Angels not hitting. Eddie Euler taking that Arizona over 6. Noli knows the king of under says Colorado's most profitable under team 3 straight years. Interesting stuff. So are you making any moves on this MLB card, any of these morning games?
I haven't made a move as of yet. I'm just kind of digging into it and going slow as far as my MLB betting. Sometimes the Aprils haven't treated me too nice, and then I've had to kind of dig out of the ditch and get to profitability as the season gone. So it was my plan going into this season, as far as at least early April, kind of going slow, Jimmy. But just looking at this card today, Philadelphia, we just talked about him. They got Nola on the hill. I think he's an interesting candidate at not too big of a favorite price here at the -130 range. Was thinking about looking at Philadelphia. That offense looked good just last night. So leaning towards the Phillies here at a -130 price tag.
Yeah, I fear that game a little more than I should. Everybody jumping on the Phillies here, and I guess it's just a vividness bias with Anibal Sanchez. He cost me quite a bit of cash last year, and he was just so capable of getting the soft contact, and I didn't believe it. I still had this image of him just getting rocked time and time again, and all said and done, I'm going to stay off this spot. But you trust Nola on the road?
Yeah, Nola's a more of a bet on pitcher than not for me, but it's even watching their lineup last night and how they worked. They worked the counts against Scherzer, and I love lineups that can do that, and they obviously have power as well. So finding out lineups that do that and that can do it well and if a pitcher's on his game can kind of get him out like they did against Scherzer, get into the bullpen. I look to kind of bet on those type of lineups, especially early in the season. And you bring up the fact is with Anibal Sanchez, he's having to follow Max Scherzer. So watching, those heavy sliders, one of the best pitchers in MLB coming back daylight, I feel like that helps the offense a little bit more than not. So I would look for this Philadelphia Phillies lineup to have a better day than not. And at this price tag, I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, and interesting. Tomino says Turner being out is a big loss for the Nationals. I guess I feel like it was a hugely emotional night last night for the Phillies to do what they did with Harper as their new star in Washington. I think that they expended a lot of energy in that game. And then another side to it that kind of makes me just, I guess, not have the balls to take the Nationals, but to stay off of it, is that Harper going down for an injury, and that I think that can galvanize a baseball a locker room. I think that they can come together and deal with that adversity. And I think it's a great opportunity for the Nationals. And look at this lineup. It's a pretty strong lineup. Like, I don't think this is a shit Washington line. I know that Trey Turner is important, but Eaton, Dozier, Rendon, Soto, Zimmerman, Suzuki, Difo, Sanchez, Robles. Like, I know there's not a ton of power. Brian Dozier's being a power-hitting second baseman. Rendon can hit hard. Soto can, what? I think they can handle adversity in this spot. And I'm just going to stay off the game. Are there any other morning games that you're looking at?
No, that was it as far as the games I was about to pull the trigger on. I really haven't gotten a chance to break them all down. I mean, Eovaldi, I think he's an interesting candidate tonight for Boston. You know, Boston was one of those teams listing off the trends of just haven't been very good this year, and we know he can throw lights out when he's on. So going against Oakland, it's talk about tricky handicaps tonight, Jimmy. I mean, Oakland, has been playing very well against Boston, who hasn't been playing very well, but coming into the season might have been a little bit differently. This price point, I think, is a very tough one on the odds makers. Eovaldi, he can shut down a lineup if he's on. He can touch triple digits. Minus 134 on the road, though. Boston just hasn't looked good out west, so I would actually kind of look to fade Boston, but with him on the hill, it's a tricky handicap. Also, you got to think out west in that ballpark. Maybe 8.5 is looking a little too healthy there. Maybe look towards the under in the Boston Oakland game.
Yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to watch Estrada more in that A's uniform. Kyle Fergus says, I like the Reds today. I'm on the Reds first 5. I like seeing that. And Tomer says, bad spot for Philadelphia off an emotional win, but I think they're a much better team. I agree with that perfectly. I agree completely, especially with Michael Franco adding that bat to the back end of the lineup. Okay, all said and done. Let's. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we talk about this game 2 of the CIT series?
Maybe just conceptually speaking about what Tomar said in the bad spot for the Phillies off the emotional win, and for like college football or college basketball, even even the NBA, I would agree, and I would agree to some extent here. But how much do you really think that matters in baseball with 160 games and emotional spots in MLB? Do you factor that in as high, Jimmy?
Sorry, I was just going over something to get up the this NCAA. Do you mind just repeating that? Sorry, my fault.
I was just saying, like, conceptually handicap speaking, as far as like bad spots in MLB, and when it's not really a travel spot where you're going across the country, I don't necessarily factor it in as much in MLB, like a big win coming back in the same area, not having travel and then fading a team because of that. I don't really look at it as that big of a handicapping angle off of a win last night.
I think it's an important handicapping piece. I just think that you are probably right. It doesn't have the same importance as it does in NBA or in NHL, just because, as you said, of the quantity of games. No, I think it's crucial. I mean, I think that all angles are very important. And for me, I try to spend as much time on the psychological aspects of the capping situation as I can, because I'm not someone who uses a model. So I find that maybe I make it too important at times, but I find them very important. I'd be surprised, really. So much so that I'm almost talking myself into making a play on the Nationals. I'd be surprised if, I'm thinking of making a play on the Nationals here. I guess the one thing that Tom Marino does hit here is about the defense with Dozier at second and Eaton in outfield. I mean, that's bad. But I think this is a bad spot for the Phillies. I really do. I think that they are emotional. It's tough to start the season, and there've been some very emotional games right now, and yesterday was the most emotional. So I think it is important.
Okay, fair enough, man. Yeah, minus 130 price tag. I'd probably go the other way on Philly, but nothing real strong on today's MLB card for me.
Well, it's exciting, and it's going to be great as the season goes on to get your baseball breakdowns. Okay, let's break down this game here. And now we're back in Chicago. South Florida barely held serve, and now it's time for DePaul to take care of business. And this market is going heavy on DePaul. It feels like the opportunity to back them is over. It opened at -4. Now it's -6. BetOnline still hanging a -5.5. Let's take a look at this total. Open at 146 and has stayed here. Let's break down this game. I know you know these teams very well. South Florida, DePaul, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, this market, in my opinion, is getting really aggressive, man. A big move here towards DePaul. You kind of thought that the money would come in on DePaul in a must-win situation going back home. And we know in college basketball, travel spots can mean a lot, like we were just talking about in MLB. USF, a top 15 team nationally in rebounding. It showed last game. They did win the rebounding battle 38-33 in game one. Coming back game two, I would look for South Florida to continue kind of pounding the rebounding, both offensive and defensive. They had a real strength there in game one. USF held DePaul, couple notes here, to 25 points in the first half and only 61 points for the game. Both of those are season lows for DePaul. So whatever USF was doing defensively, it was working. They are the better defensive team. As we know, DePaul is the better offensive team. And defense won out in Tampa game one. Jimmy, I'll tell you this. I mean, I think that the market's getting a little too cute here, too aggressive. And I think this +6 number on USF, I think it's worth a look here. I'm going to pull the trigger. On the show, as far as best bet stuff, don't have the SBR Madness show today, so need to throw out a best bet, and this is the one I'm going to be on tonight to have some action. I like USF plus the points. I know that there's question marks with this Bulls team as far as their free throw shooting and their offensive efficiency overall, but they're playing tough. We saw it in game one. They held DePaul off. And catching 6 points, they don't have to win this game. Just stay within 6. You can cash your ticket. So I think USF's the side here. Take advantage of this kind of what the market's given us here with the extra points on USF.
Yeah, I agree. I and everybody in the chat agreeing. Brian Arpin saying USF +6, but he's taking the under. What do you think about this total? Because a few people in the chat here thinking that this game could soar over. Eddie Ola saying under has value, in my opinion. Brian Arpin liking the USF money line at 205. Mikey D agreeing with you, saying at 5.5, I think I got to take the points. But Vaughn Polo says I like the over on this game. I think it goes way over the total. What do you think about that?
This is an interesting handicap because at first I was looking towards the under, Jimmy. And when you go back to game one, the spread was 1.5 or 2 for USF, and the total was 151.5. So we've had a 5-point move, 5.5, depending what sportsbook you're going at, towards the under. That's a big move for just one game. So I was looking to go on the under at the 150 mark, but you got to remember to bet these numbers, not just kind of only philosophies here. And I think we do lose a little bit of value. That's the reason I stayed off of this total, is just because the odds makers, in my opinion, were on to this look towards the under. So at 146, 146.5, I think that a lot of the value was squeezed out of this under. So I stayed off of it for that reason. But I wouldn't talk. I mean, I guess other than that 5.5 point move towards the under. I mean, USF's defense, it is a good defensive team, good rebounding team, and they showed that they can control this DePaul offense, holding them to season lows in the first half and full games. So I would look towards the under, but that's the reason I stayed off, just because the 5-point move.
Yeah, I get that. King Rails on DePaul -5 with J Money. And J Money gave us that hint a couple days ago. He said, man, if Florida wins, Revenge Game Jay will be back in business. And that's what's happening there. This is interesting, and I'm hesitant to make a move at this point in South Florida, DePaul. Just hesitant to make a move. But you are making South Florida +6 an official picture?
Yeah, I'm gonna go South Florida +6 as far as best bet for the show, and what I'm on personally tonight. So got some action, national televised game. It will be fun. Nothing crazy, ESPNU, but just a couple shackles on the USF Bulls. Support my local state here. Good defense, good rebounding team, the tougher team in my opinion. It may be up against it talent-wise on offense, but I think that these South Florida boys can go up to Chicago and stay within 6 points. Don't have to win the game, Jimmy. Just stay within 6 points.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Interesting. And then we don't have you on our show tomorrow. You have any feel on the finals there? Lipscomb, Texas, and Green Bay, Marshall?
Oh, do I have any feel on my Lippy team? Lippy? Oh man, I love Lippy, man. The Lippy's been great. I think they can score. Good team. It's Lipscomb or pass for me.
Lipscomb or pass? And what about in the Green Bay Marshall spot?
Little less sure. I mean, Green Bay, tough team. I've lost money on them before, so I've kind of put them as a bet on only team. But yeah, I would look towards Green Bay, but haven't made a move.
Yeah, and that total Green Bay Marshall opened at 173. It's all the way down to 168 there. And the Lipscomb Texas total opened at 149. It's all the way down to 143. Huge moves to the under in both those. What do you think about those moves?
I mean, it's just so high of totals, man. And we've seen it before, 4 or 5 minutes of kind of a lackluster scoring, and it just gets really tough to get up there. And when you start talking, 80 possessions, right, with the teams pushing it, and that's not even guaranteed, point per possession, that only puts you at 160. So it gets kind of tricky getting up there into the 170s. Not that it can't happen. It's just a lot has to go right for it to happen in the 40 minutes of play. So I really pump the brakes on going north of 165 most times.
Last night, Texas Southern Green Bay game, it looked like we were going to lose another under in overtime. Oh God. And we still cashed through one overtime with the under, but I thought it was just going to happen again, and horrifying stuff. But Brian Arpin says unders for sure. And Dwayne Reed says, give me USF plus 210. Drew, thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. It means the world. I guess I keep saying afternoon because I've been up since dawn. Before the Roosters is how I do it now, Drew. But thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you on Twitter, and what shows do you have going off the rest of the week?
Yeah, at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter, and I'll be back on this show on Friday on the Low Bag Show. So excited to get back on Friday, same time. So we'll be breaking down, I guess, the Final Four and any Friday slates, some MLB as well. But also Maxwell, Smart, and I, 10 a.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. on Sunday, breaking down all things college basketball. So yeah, you got the Roosters there in Costa Rica, Jimmy. Also, thank you to the focus group pick on the Florida Derby. Did win on that. Thank you for that. And hopefully those roosters aren't waking you up too early down there in Costa Rica. I do remember, man, people just have roosters in the back of their houses, back of their apartments. It's kind of a little crazy down there.
Yeah, I love that shit. I get to, there's goats and cows and horses all over the place coming up to work. I love that stuff. That makes it really fun. But yeah, usually it's my horrifying losing that wakes me up, but today I jumped out of bed as a winner for the first time in a while. What a treat it is to roll with you, Drew. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's have a great afternoon of study. Let's come back here in the black. We got a lot of day baseball games about to go off. And remember, on the Late Show, we're going to be focusing on NBA. We're going to hammer the NBA card, and we're going to have Jay Money is Money joining us. And then I will be on King's Court with King Rail and Jay Money. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leche, Alos Bookmakers!